In October last year, my partner and I had the pleasure of spending 5 days aboard a Liveaboard dive boat, exploring Indonesia's spectacular Komodo Islands National Park, near the island of Flores in eastern Indonesia. Indonesia sits on the equator, so it's warm and tropical year-round. It's famous for its beaches, world-class surfing, and incredible food, but underneath the surface lies something even more remarkable: some of the most biodiverse coral reefs on Earth. The Komodo Islands National Park is famous as the home of the world's largest lizard, the Komodo dragon, but among divers, it's known for something else. It's widely regarded as one of the best diving destinations anywhere on the planet. So naturally, I went in with pretty high expectations, and somehow it exceeded them. Getting there is easy. Most visitors fly via Bali, one of Indonesia's major international gateways, before taking a short 1-hour flight east to Flores. And honestly, that flight is one of the highlights. I spent most of it with my face pressed up against the window, taking in the breathtaking views of rainforests, volcanic mountains, and the glowing turquoise reefs. Our destination was Labuan Bajo, a small harbour town on the western tip of Flores, and the jumping off point for adventures into the Komodo Islands National Park. Now, if your impression of Indonesia comes entirely from the busy tourist streets of Bali, it's worth remembering that Indonesia is one of the most diverse countries on Earth. It's made up of more than 17,000 islands, and no two are the same. The country is home to more than 1,300 recognised ethnic groups speaking hundreds of different languages. For thousands of years, Indigenous communities have maintained their unique cultures, traditions, and ways of life across this vast archipelago. Over the centuries, traders, fishermen, and colonisers have added further layers of influence. The result is a fascinating mix of cultures. While Indonesia's national religion is predominantly Islam, Bali is overwhelmingly Hindu. Flores, meanwhile, has a strong Catholic heritage thanks to centuries of Portuguese influence. Dutch and Japanese occupations have also left their mark on the region. As I'm someone who's familiar with the temples, ceremonies, and flavours of Hindu Bali, arriving in Flores felt like stepping into a completely different country. One moment you're surrounded by rice paddies and coconut groves, and the next you're passing Catholic churches and Portuguese colonial architecture. Before boarding our dive boat, my partner and I spent 3 days exploring Flores with a local guide named Philan, who was an absolute legend. Born and raised in Flores, Philan introduced us to local customs, traditions, and daily life. We visited a traditional village where families live in communal longhouses, they weave textiles, they harvest candle nuts from the rainforest, and maintain cultural practices that stretch back generations. There were these huge ancient stone megaliths standing alongside their Catholic crosses. Ancient ceremonies honouring ancestors and volcano spirits continue alongside the more recently introduced Christian traditions. It was a really fascinating example of how cultures adapt and evolve over time. And everywhere we went, curious children came running over to say hello, which was really cute. Along the way, we soaked in hot springs, wandered through bustling markets, visited coffee plantations, and climbed Mount Kelimutu before dawn to watch the sunrise over its famous crater lakes, whose colours change and shift over time due to changing volcanic chemistry. It's absolutely incredible. But as fascinating as the island of Flores was, we're here today to talk about the reef. So it's time to step aboard our liveaboard vessel, the Makumba Dua, and set sail for the Komodo Islands National Park. What makes this place such a world-renowned diving destination? What marine life can you expect to see? Which dive sites are the standouts? When is the best time to visit? What environmental challenges is this park facing? And what are local communities doing to help protect it? To answer these questions, I sat down on the final day of our trip with cruise director and dive instructor, Wili. Born and raised on Flores, Wili has spent the past 17 years guiding divers through the waters of Komodo and has witnessed firsthand the changes taking place above and below the surface. I hope you enjoy the conversation as much as I did. Wili, thank you so much for this amazing trip. We're on a boat called
Komodo, yeah.
We did a 5-day liveaboard trip and it was amazing. All the staff were great, really friendly. We had fun. We did karaoke last night, which was super fun. Everyone was dancing. We had different songs from all over different countries, and Wili sang us his local song, in local language. We had really good food, and we also did some amazing treks up to see the most beautiful sunsets. I had the best time. This is one of the best diving holidays of my life. I saw things in Komodo Islands that I've never seen anywhere else. So first of all, thank you so much. Can you tell us a bit about yourself? Introduce yourself. Where are you from?
Well, my name is Wili, and I came from the island, we call it Flores Island here. And I came from the middle part of the island, and I live in Labuan Bajo for 19 years. And I became a scuba diver for about 17 years overall.
17 years?
17 years.
Oh, that's a pretty long time.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I became a pro 2009, and since then diving is my job.
Wow.
Yeah.
I became a dive master in 2011.
2011.
So you're more experienced than me. At what age did you get into scuba diving? Did you have a different job beforehand, or this was your first job?
Well, actually, after I finished my high school, I decided to come to Labuan Bajo because I was studying tourism at high school. And I decided to come to Labuan Bajo, and I was working to one of the diving center here. And every end of the trips, every day, at the end of the day, all the guests came to the table and they were showing me the picture about underwaters and like sharks, mantas, and some reef fishes. And since then, I was like, okay, this is gonna be my passions. And 2007, I started my diving. Then 2009 I became pro, and I like it,
You're kind of like me. I actually grew up a little bit inland in Australia, and then when I started to see what's in the ocean, I just fell in love with it. So
it is, same as me too. I came from the inlands. I went to the oceans after I finished my high school. I learned in Labuan Bajo in Flores, and I'm really happy and I'm really proud of it that I make it,
Yeah, actually, we did a tour of Flores Island. We went to the center part of Flores, and we actually met some locals, and some people actually told us that they don't know how to swim. Did you know how to swim when you were young, or you just learned when you were adult?
Most of the time, people on the island, Flores itself, I came from the inlands. We don't have pool at schools, but we have a river, and at the river we have freshwater pool. So after school times, we went to the pool and we learned how to swim and everything. And then after I finished my high school, I came to Labuan Bajo. Then I learned how to swim in open oceans, and then it was really a lot of fun, and because it's big, so compared to the place where I came from, to the river, to the pool at the place where I came from, a lot of fun, and I was like it,
yeah. Once the ocean gets a hold of you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So what do you love most about the ocean or about diving?
I like being on the oceans. I like, first is you have a fresh air, and you have nice scenery around you. It's really far view around and really opens, and ocean is a place where I do a lot of meditations, because when I'm at the ocean here, I feel a lot of peace here. And then doing diving also, being underwater also is a lot of fun, It's a different environment, and then a lot of fish and a lot of corals, and it's really cool. It's really amazing, the things that I haven't seen on land, and being underwater, like so excited, When I was in my village, we bought a lot of dried fish because there were no fresh fish, because it's far in the mountain and people selling fish when the fish already dried. And I was thinking like, wow, this dried fish, and what's going to happen when they are under the sea level, under the water, and and then I decided to be a diver, and I saw it. I was like, wow, it's really amazing, and I really Thanks God, it's really amazing. I'm really, really super lucky of being people from Flores and National Park here, Komodo, Komodo National Park. It's really one of the best, and I'm a part of it here, so I'm really proud and I'm very lucky.
Yeah, the last dive we did just then was so beautiful. I felt like it was like a meditation as well.
Yes,
There's just like millions of fish. Can't even see my buddy because there's so many fish.
Yeah.
So peaceful. Yeah, I feel sad that today is our last day. I don't want to go home.
Yeah.
So yeah, Komodo Islands. What would you say if you're recommending to anyone coming from around the world? What are the best dive sites to look for when you come to the Komodo Marine Park?
Yeah, Komodo it is true. It's one of the best place to dive at the moment. And here, a lot of fish. We have a lot of mantas, corals everywhere, fish everywhere. And all of this is because of all of dive community here, all of dive guides all around Indonesia who are working here in Komodo, especially the divers from the island itself. We commit to protect the coral reefs or national parks, and that's what's happening now. Like the corals, fish everywhere, mantas everywhere. I think is part of our strugglings of protecting these things. As you know that during the briefing we said like please be a part of not kicking any corals. Being a part of pick up any rubbish down there, and because it's so nice, so beautiful here in Komodo National Park. And also here we have some currents, strong. It is strong, but we never jump when the current is super strong, And because of the current, it's bring a lot of nutrients, make coral reefs grow healthier and healthier. Yeah, so that's why Komodo National Park here is really, really beautiful. And for some people who are divers or who are willing to do some holiday in Komodo National Parks, if they want to see manta ray, it would be better like what you are doing now, like end of October, because end of October is the season for manta ray.
We saw so many manta ray.
So many manta ray, yeah. It's always coming when the rainy season start here, and mantas is coming, and they are going back somewhere at the beginning of the year, April. They are going somewhere else, still inside the park, but they are different places. Like what we did 2-3 days ago, it was really, really perfect timing, and I like it so much. Yeah, it's
we
really
saw
good.
Probably maybe about 20 manta rays on this site called Manta Point. Manta Point.
Yeah, one spot. I saw 20 mantas, and they were like, it's kind of like one of my best dive in a year for manta ray 2025. Yes.
And we saw Ninja, the fully black manta.
Yes.
They nicknamed it Ninja.
Yeah. We have some of them here also. Yeah, we call the same thing Ninja. Because a fully black manta.
Yeah. One of the mantas, the biggest manta we saw was probably 4 meters or 3 or 4 meters.
4 meters. The most we saw is reef mantas. They are growing up to 4 meters only. And if you want to see oceanic manta, then you have to go to Raja Ampat, because for me it's quite easy to see them than here. Yeah.
You mentioned the currents,
yes.
So it's a good idea to either do a refresher before you come here or be advanced, I suppose. But it is possible to come as a beginner as well, right?
It is. I would recommend to be advanced diver first to come here, or you can do your advanced course here also. That would be nice. As you know that we did beginners, but like when we bring beginner, if you're a beginner, you come here, we only bring you to the place where not so much challenge, not so much big things to see. So highly recommend is at once.
Yeah. So I guess the Komodo National Park has something for everyone though, because there's some sites which are easy for beginners, no current, like the last dive we did today. So we had some guests who came on this Liveaboard trip just as snorkelers, and so they got to practice and improve their snorkeling and their confidence, and then on the last day they learned, they did an introductory scuba dive and had the best time ever. So there's something here for everyone, and I mean you can do day trips as well if that's all you have the time and budget for. But if you're a more of a diver, then I definitely recommend a liveaboard because we had more time to see more sights. We did a night dive, which is amazing. And I love underwater photography, so I got to take photos of lots of macro life, lots of small stuff, and I found that this marine park is really good for macro stuff, so lots of nudibranchs. There was a lot of little crustaceans. Also the colours of soft corals, like bright orange, bright pink, so bright colours, and sponges, just every different type of colour of sponges. So I had a great time as a advanced underwater photographer and, you know, very experienced diver. But yeah, the snorkelers and beginners had a really good time as well. And one of the most exciting or thrilling dives was shotgun. So if there's anyone out there who hasn't heard about it, can you explain what is the shotgun dive?
Well, shotgun actually, the dive site basically is in between of two islands. And you have a channel in between. And why we call this dive site shotgun is because in between of these two islands, the deepest of the water is about 7 to 8 meters. So when the water moving from one side to another side, they have to squeeze themselves tight into small passage. So when the water moving up to these shallow parts, they became squeezing each other tightly and became stronger. And that's why we call this point a shotgun. And the good things of this place, most of the time you do drift dive. And you start from the shallow, you go deep, and then you go to the shotgun points, and then you go really super fast out to the blue. Yes, exactly. And some divers, they are doing hooking also to feel the power, the mother nature power of the currents. Yeah, exactly. You could feel it, like, really cool, really amazing. I like it. Some of our guests, they love it so much, because of the current itself. And then when you go drift, you just go like poof, to the blue, and then like a roller coaster, like the feeling. I love it so much, So that's why we call it dive site shotguns, and this is one of the most favorite dive sites for the diver who come to Komodo National Park. And also here, not only currents, but you have nice corals and a lot of fish to see, like sharks and trevally, and then millions of reef fishes, antilles everywhere, and a big eye of jackfish here, trevally, Really, really beautiful. One of the recommended spots that you have to be experienced in National Park.
Yeah, I loved shotgun. That was one of my top sites. We did about more than 10 different sites on this trip, right? More than 12.
14 dives.
14 dives, okay. I've lost count. There was so many. But shotgun was one of my favorites, not just because we got to drift through that fast current channel, which was really exciting, but on either side of that, the coral was just amazing. And we saw Pygmy seahorses, which, if anyone hasn't heard of a Pygmy seahorse, they're really tiny. There's no way I would have found that if the guide didn't point it out to me, or the other guide, Saldi. So all the guides here have very sharp eyesight, right? You can see the things that I never would have noticed. But our guide, Saldi, found this tiny little adorable seahorse. So shotgun is an absolutely great site, and I guess that's one of the dives where it helps if you're advanced, because you just need to be confident in that strong current. There was a dive on the first day which was a little bit more of a muck dive, where there was a bit more mud and less colourful coral, but a lot of really interesting critters. So we saw multiple seahorses, multiple pipefish, 2 different types of ribbon eel. One of them actually was swimming, and you could see the full ribbon shape. It was just, I've never seen that before. It was amazing.
let's talk a bit about threats to the ocean. So when we were at a site called Golden Passage, you were talking about the water temperature being like 28, 29, which is beautiful and warm for us to go diving, but you said you're a little bit worried about if the water gets too hot, then it can cause bleaching. Have you seen much bleaching around the Komodo National Park?
Yeah, at the moment we had 29 to 30 degrees of the water temperature, and this is not good temperature for October and for the coral reefs itself, and I hope it doesn't go more than this. When it goes up to 31, so some corals of the shallow reef here definitely bleaching. This was happening 2014 here. We had water temperature goes up to 30, and then at some points of the dive site here really completely bleaching, and it really is not nice, and like big huge sable corals, and it's just in 1 month and all whites and everything, really sad. And I don't know, but the only things that I can do is just I hope temperature not going up to 31, 32, stay 29, 30, or I prefer 28, 29, it's no more than this, otherwise the corals will turn into bleaching and not nice. And like you've been there and you saw the corals, how beautiful they were, and when it's drying, it's really taking my heart away, so I love it so much, and I hope,
Yeah, I hope so too. And I can confirm that the coral here is really, really healthy. Like, we just saw the most colourful coral that you can imagine. It was absolutely beautiful. So that's positive. And I think because of those currents, that you have a lot of currents in Komodo National Park, so it's keeping things cool. But in Australia, we have coral bleaching as well. So I know the feeling. It's really hard to see. So you mentioned 2014.
Yeah.
Did you have more bleaching? Like, how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it 3 or 4 times here in the park, where the temperature goes over to 30 degrees, and it was really, really destroying, bleaching everywhere, and it really takes time, like 3 years, 4 years to bring it back, And the most I remember was 2014, where the corals was super everywhere, bleachings, and not nice. And after that, they are growing back fastly because we have currents here. They bring a lot of nutrients, make the corals grow. And also temperature after 2014, the temperature goes back down again, so makes the corals growing healthier and healthier. So I hope not going to happen again,
Yeah. Fingers crossed, because Flores is in the southern hemisphere, same as Australia. So we're coming into summer now. So October, November, December, it's going to get hotter, right?
Yeah.
So I really hope that it doesn't get too hot this year, and the corals can stay beautiful. And I guess you've got a lot of dive sites to choose from, so the ones you took us to were very healthy, so it was amazing. It's the same in Australia. We have had multiple bleaching events, but we still can choose good dive sites that are still healthy, especially if they've got currents to keep them cool and things like that. And like you mentioned, it's usually the shallow corals that bleach, so lucky we are divers, we can go down and see
It is.
So do you have any problems with crown of thorns starfish?
Yes. 2011 and 12, government here, they were asking to all of the local divers to eliminate all of those crown of thorns. And to be honest, in this park we have lots of this before. So we, as a local divers here, local community divers here, we work hand in hand to take all of them out, and we bring it to the island. Then we dig the ground, the sands, like 1 meter, 2 meters deep. Then we put all them in.
Oh wow!
And
they're hard to kill.
It is. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, they just come back out.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And recently, I did a couple of dives in the park here. I saw a couple of them, and not really much. But so far at the moment here, crown of thorn is not a big disaster. We hope it stay like this, but we don't know what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years ahead. Yeah, we don't know, but I hope not. But if this happen, what we do, we're going to do same things. We're going to collect them all, and we're going to bring them back to the land. Then we're going to bury them in the ground. Yeah.
So speaking about protections, it's a national park, which is great. And I saw in one of the books here that there's different zones. So there's areas which is like tourism only, I guess, but there's also some traditional use areas. So can you tell us about how the protection of this area works?
Yes. Here in the park here, we have so many locals are living inside the park.
Yeah.
And their lives...
They've been living there for a really long time.
Yeah.
Thousands of years,
It is.
Yeah.
They've been living here for many years before the national parks exist. And their lives just depends on the fishing and or taking things from the oceans and selling it to the land to make their lives move on and on. And the government now, they helps a lot to the local community here, especially in the park. They teach them how to professional handicrafts, you know. They teach them how to be a good seller when they buy something like Komodo statue, you know.
Oh, I didn't wear it, but I bought a Komodo Island T-shirt.
Yeah.
A local,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
helping the economy.
It is. So this is what the government do. They try to support in this way, so they are not going to depend on the fish and everything to sell, but they use this ability, they use these skills. As we have more guests coming to sell, like T-shirt, like handicraft, and you know. And here in the park here, we have 3 zones where you can see in the park here. For the divers, they are mostly going to the place or to the islands where the coral is nice and they are allowed to diving there. And there is some zone only for fishermen. So it doesn't mean that the government, they're really 100% they close for them not to go inside the park. No, they are.
Yeah.
They are allowed to come inside the park, but they are not allowed to with the fishing net. They're only allowed with the fishing line manually. And then they have a special zone where they can go.
Okay.
They are not allowed to go directly into dive spots fishing. And the third one is there is a place like the mangroves area where mostly divers and fishermen are not allowed to go, where the fishes are going to spawning and spawning. Yeah, things like that. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Sounds like a really great system. How long has that been in place?
I think this has been for 15, 16 or 17 years since I came here. The government, they already started with this. So probably 20 years ago. Yeah, but it takes time, you know.
Yeah, you've been working here for a long time. So in that time, have you seen changes? Like maybe some things are getting worse because of human impacts, but maybe some things are getting better because of the marine park protections, or just stay the same?
Tourism increasing here more every year, more and more. And the demands to the market of the fish more and bigger and bigger. And 10, 15 years ago, here, really beautiful. Now is still beautiful too.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you honestly, but it's a bit less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Went from 100 down to 95.
I would say 75.
75.
Yeah. And also divers less experienced, they come here. And also fishermen, they do some dynamites here. They do some cyanide also.
Even though it's not allowed.
Even though it's not allowed, yeah. You know, national park authorities is not always 24 hours out there, you know. So when they are sleeping at night, in the middle of the night, fishermen comes in, you know, because they know the place here. It's very difficult. And tourists coming more and more here, they bring big economic to the locals who are living inside the park. They make more money than before. It's because of this. And also, with the money they made from tourism, they can send their children to have a good education on Flores Island here. Even half of them not well educated, it's because they prefer to make money faster than to send their children to school. And but to be honest, now we have lots of students from the islands that came to the mainland here to study, to have a good education. And to be honest, this is because of the tourism itself in growing and bring a good impact.
Yeah. So I guess sometimes tourism gets a bad rep, but it brings a lot of benefits, like economically, and it allows some of those fisher people can stop fishing and sell the souvenirs and t-shirts instead. And it provides people like you with the best job ever.
Yes, it is.
So I think that's an important tip that you gave, is just make sure that you're experienced enough before you go near the coral, that you control your buoyancy so you're not getting too close and accidentally kicking it, and don't touch anything. It's the same rules in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Leave nothing but bubbles and take nothing but photographs. I saw many of us on our dive picked up a few fishing lines, and we picked up a couple of pieces of trash, and there wasn't much on the dives. It was very clean because of the marine park, but when we saw a couple of things, we picked them up. So if you're taking away anything from your tourism experience, you can take away trash. Support the local villages that we went near. We also did a tour to see Komodo dragons, which was really cool. They're so big. And I think they're cute, but also deadly. And so that's where there was local people employed as rangers protecting the dragons. And so I think tourism is a good thing as long as we don't take away anything except trash. Speaking about trash in the ocean, do you see a lot of plastic pollution in the ocean, and is the marine park doing anything about that?
We have some NGOs on the islands who really taking care of the rubbish and like Trash Hero and some other Trash Hero.
So the sign at one of our hotels, Trash Hero, and they have a filtered water tower in the different restaurants and hotels, so you can refill your own bottle. You don't have to buy plastic bottles.
Plastic bottles. And Trash Hero, and also here we have one of the local NGO here. This one is the most active here in the park. Indonesian Waste Platform. The manager is one of my friends. She's very, very active. Every Friday, she drive the boat to some of the island here to collect and pick up the rubbish. And also from the diver community. Before I was one of the leader of the divers community here, and we are really concerned to this also. And every year we used to collect the rubbish underwater here, and then also we are going to the park. We pick up some rubbish. We go to those places where we think, okay, we have rubbish underwater loads here, and then we bring divers, from the local divers here, and we collect all the rubbish here, and it just really helps. It really helps, and that's why we see some of the dive sites out here where there are no rubbish. Even some of the places out there, to be honestly, one of them. But most of the area, we definitely intensely every year we clean. And also with the Trash Hero Indonesian Waste Platform here from the island, they used to help a lot also.
I think the dive community is so important with protecting the ocean, because the people who love the reef, they don't want to see trash there. So divers like us, we're here to help protect it. We don't want to harm it. So if there's anyone from around the world, like tourists, can they come here and help with the cleanups? Or just local?
Sure, definitely. Any divers who come here in the park here, we don't have any schedules for you because
is there a website?
Actually don't. Mostly when we have World Cleanup Day or Ocean Cleanup Day, then we go to the park. But we always recommend to the divers who dive in park here, at least 1 or 2 or 3 at least you have to bring it home. Bring it up to the boat here, try to collect. For any divers out there who comes here in the park, so I hope do some little bit to make a better world or better reefs.
Every little bit counts, right?
Yes.
Well, it looks like we're nearly back in Liveaboard. Is this
year?
Wow, I'm so sad. I have to get off the boat. I haven't even packed yet, so we're going to do that. But
it's hard to say.
Thanks for sharing a little bit of your knowledge with us, and thank you so much for the.
Thank you so much.